the world would probably be a much better place if men were the ones that were oppressed for all these years instead of women. Roll a clip.
Hey beautiful people, how you are doing today? It's your girl Destiny here and welcome back to my channel. How you are doing? Hope you guys are doing great. So this video is the part 2 video I posted previously of the black man who came online to tell women, especially women, that being single is not a flex, it's not a compliment, that we should get over it, that our purpose on earth is to be married and have children, that what else is a woman's purpose if that is not it. If you haven't seen the part 1 of that video, go check it out so you get full context of what today's video is. So today's video, men are reacting to what he said in that video, and which I find this really interesting. I'm really super excited to hear what the men have to say. So go check out that other video so you get full context. Please go check out that video. I can't put it here because it's already in the part 1. So go check out that video so you get full context of what they are reacting to. So I'll link it down in the description box down below as the part 1, and also up in the card so you can just click on it and then go check out the video and that conversation then conjured up, because the women were dropping gems and they were schooling him. Anyway guys, let's go hear what the men have to say about women being single, if it's a compliment or not. With that all said, guys, let's go check it out.
I'd hate to be the one to have to say this out loud, but the world would probably be a much better place if men were the ones that were oppressed for all these years instead of women. Roll a clip.
Women living in the state of delusion, thinking that they just gonna find the most perfect man ever, and if not, and they can't find that, they'll just be single, as if that's supposed to do any type of advancement to our society. Ask yourself, what is your purpose on the earth as a woman if you're not seeking some type of family, and especially family of your own? Like, what exactly are you trying to accomplish on this earth?
The fact that y'all look at yourselves in the mirror every day, and can't understand why women wouldn't risk their lives to potentially have a human like you is beyond me. Like, at this point, y'all are the birth control. Okay? Your mama was a sacrificial lamb. She had you. We saw how it turned out. Why would women risk their lives during childbirth to potentially have another you in the world? Be so goddamn for real. And then outside of the whole risking it all to give birth to a kid, which is nuts, you think that they should end up having a family with someone like you? God, you about to get me mad. Talking about how were they moving society forward. I mean, honestly, if men didn't have the right to talk, society would probably be much further along than it was. Please.
What is your purpose on the earth as a woman if you're not seeking some type of family?
With all due disrespect, who asked you?
Okay.
Like, who was sitting around clamoring to know what you thought on this subject? Also, this question implies that you think women exist for the sole purpose of getting married and having children. But you think they're the problem. Interesting. Could it be that some women don't want to get married because they don't want to get married to men like you? Just throwing that out there. Maybe instead of wondering what's wrong with women, you should do some self-reflection and ask yourself, what's wrong with me? Just a thought.
Being a single woman is not a compliment in every case. I'm sorry, it's just not. It actually raises...
I need y'all to just stop talking, man. Men, just stop. Nobody wants to hear your opinion. Matter of fact, nobody wants to hear mine either.
So what is your purpose on the earth as a woman if you're not seeking some type of family?
Women, let me fix my bonnet. Before y'all go get mad, hear me out. Because he ain't saying nothing that y'all don't be saying to trans women every time you tell them that they're not women because they can't carry babies. Because essentially you're saying that the purpose of a woman is what that man said. So answer that man's question. Answer his question. What is your purpose as a woman? Oh, you don't want to be reduced as a woman down to only being able to make babies and carrying on a man's legacy? So why, pray tell, is that your main argument when trying to say trans women are not women? I'll wait. I will wait. I have time.
Purpose on the earth as a woman if you're not seeking some type of family and
Asking questions like that shows you don't see women as people, you see women as accessories. You ask questions that show you don't see women as people, and then you ask, why don't women want to date men? Was the answer in the question all along? Da 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 da.
even capable of keeping a relationship, keeping a man and keeping a woman, etc.
Look, buddy, I don't think you've noticed that a lot of women don't particularly give a flying about if other people think they're able to keep a relationship or not. And this whole manipulative plan that you and other men do, where you shame women into feeling like being single is a bad thing and that they should settle for a man like you, only to get in a relationship that's not healthy for them and have you remind them that they can't do anything better than you, yeah, that shit doesn't work anymore. Women would rather be alone and happy than have to deal with that manipulative bullshit. You are like a walking red flag, my dude. And honestly, people choosing to be single instead of caving into the societal pressure of being in a relationship does improve society. It contributes to society greatly because we are all out here working on ourselves and making sure that we are good so that when that person does come along, if they do, we are mentally and emotionally capable to handle that and do not settle just because it covers up the insecurities that we feel. Nobody needs anybody, and women especially don't need a man like you telling them how to live their lives. Knock it the off.
Being a single woman is not a compliment.
Single person, single woman, single man, single whatever. Being a single person, that's a thing. Trauma being single, self-reflection perhaps for a time. Maybe that's just how you are in general as it is anyway. Perhaps your goal in life is to solve math fucking problems. Maybe your goal in life is to find solutions to bigger problems than just, oh my goodness, does somebody like me? Now, I, for one, thrive in a relationship. I know that I do. So it's something that I place value in. But that's not for everyone. Not everyone requires a relationship. Some people, not even in their head, in the slightest. Does that mean that it detracts from how useful they are to society, as your video went on to say? What is their goal? What are they bringing to the table? If you're not driving towards a family, what's that have to do with anything? What does that have to do with anything at all? Are you trying to suggest that the only function for people in this world is to procreate and make more copies of themselves to then, make more copies of themselves? Because that's not the only option, right? You don't have to have a relationship. Men, women, you just don't have to. The majority of us do, but that doesn't mean all of us do. And the instant you start measuring yourself off of someone else's standards and what they hold, important, now we're at a loss. That doesn't do us any good. Now we aren't making any headway. Stop trying to measure yourself against other people and stop measuring other people off of what it is that you.
So what is your purpose on the earth as a woman if you're not seeking some type of family?
That oppressor mindset has y'all in a chokehold. Chokehold. We're never going to be free, fully free black people in this country, in this world, if we don't give up the oppressor mindset that has been set forth for us and indoctrinated in our lives. And it's a learning curve. You got to break out of that oppression. You got to break out of it because the oppressor has taught you to be oppressed. So now you want to oppress other people. You got to break out of it. We could have flying cars by now. We could be teleporting. We could be on Mars. But we still got to deal with this. No one's purpose in this life is just to procreate. No one's purpose in this life can be dictated by another person. You find out your purpose for your life on your own, at your own pace, at your own speed. What's crazy is, though, you try to phrase this as, Oh, well, how is society going to be better? How can we get better as a society if women aren't out here having babies? Okay, well, let's talk about that. First thing, do you know how expensive it is to have a baby? Do you have any idea what a woman's body goes through, or a person who can have a baby's body goes through just through the act of pregnancy and giving birth? And we're not even talking about getting to the birth itself, but the fact that their bodies go through torture to produce this little bit of offspring that's probably going to tell them to go themselves when it turns a teenager. Do you also understand that probably in about 10 years, we're not going to have clean air to breathe? Water's probably going to be something very scarce. Food, let's not even talk about that because there's children in America who can't even eat right now. Shame on you, Joe Biden and government. Shame. But another big thing here, you're talking about women having children so that way society can progress. But you, as the man who is not having children in this situation, should be out there making society a better place as opposed to judging people for not having children. I mean, maybe if the world was a better place, more people would want to have kids. I mean, the birth rate is down all across the world. You know why? Part of Florida is perpetually underwater. We have had the highest summer temperatures on record since the history of mankind started taking record. There's not enough baby formula to go around for these babies. Planes and material from space is literally falling out of the sky and landing on people, houses, cars, and places. And you know what? Sometimes people just don't want to have children. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Just because someone doesn't have children or a child, that doesn't make them less valuable to society. It doesn't mean that they're not contributing to society. It doesn't mean that their life isn't fulfilled. It's just the path that they have taken. Leave women alone. Leave women alone. Running into men like you is probably why they're not having babies with you. Leave women alone.
Being a single woman is not a compliment in every case. I'm sorry, it's just not. It actually raises.
Hey, how you doing? It's me again. Quick question. What red flags does it raise? Because I'm pretty sure from these videos you're making, you are single, which means you're incapable of keeping a woman or man. If that's your choice, I don't judge. But it's pretty clear that you're incapable of doing the same thing. So what red flags does that raise about you? And to be honest with you, no one gives a flying what anybody thinks about these single women. If their friends are questioning if they can't keep a man, those aren't her friends. Who cares what strangers think? No one cares. See, every woman doesn't desire to be kept, to be somebody's bondage slave, so to speak. Because that's what men like you want. You want a woman who can bring home the bacon, fry it up in the pan, go to work, take care of your lazy trifling, wash your clothes, but you still want her to contribute joyfully to the expenses of the house. How about you do your share of the load? See, nowadays it takes 2 incomes to keep a house fully functioning. I don't know if you know that or not. It does. And then you go on to ask, what is their purpose if they're not out here trying to have a family? Let me explain something to you real quick. There are some women who are incapable of producing children through no fault of their own. So where's the family in that point? You can get married. But that's still a fruitless venture if you can't have children, right? Because that's you and your husband. I know that's a form of a family, but the family that you're talking about, it would be a fruitless venture. There are some women who don't want children. There are some women who are non-binary, lesbian, transgender, who are non-traditional, who don't want children. So where does that leave them in your mindscape? See, what you need to understand is you are part of the problem. Your misogynistic ways, your patriarchal views is what's making women not want to deal with men, period. They'd rather be happy and single than deal with some scumbucket like you. Some twat whistle. Some misogynistic pig who thinks that their only purpose is to make them happy when they can be just as happy by themselves. See, I like women. I value women. I uphold women. So a woman's choice to be single is her own business. If she wants to be in a relationship, that's her own business. If she does not want children, that's her own business. You might want to find you one who's in tune with your values, but I doubt if you will. And one last thing. Boy, you. Who the you think you are?
Please go down in the comment section and share your thought. Love to know what you think about this amazing conversation, and the men's response down in the comment section. But please keep it respectful. Here on this channel, we're allowed to disagree, but we do it in a respectful way. As always, here on this channel. For me, it's really interesting how a lot of the men kind of understand why it's nobody's business if anybody wants to be single. And for this man to be talking about how having a child is the purpose of a woman, or when you can't find a good man, that means when you're single, that shows that you're incapable of being in a relationship. The truth is that people that have been in a relationship, what do they have to show for it? And the fact that is amounting it to children, having children and all that. I said a lot in my first video. Just go check out the part 1 of the video. The fact that a lot of men really think this, and a lot of men in my society, in my culture, believe what this man said verbally. This is something, what he said, talking about how to have children, is the blackmail that they've been using for women for the longest time. And in my society, it's still working. They'll try to shame a single woman who genuinely is happy being single, happy being by herself. Try to shame her and press her to think that she needs somebody, she needs a man, she needs a family to live a happy life, and that's where the happiness comes from. And this is why a lot of women in my society, after they've gotten into it, and even a lot of older women that have been into marriage or in a relationship and have children, they will tell you, we've had this conversation over and over on this channel, and some of you guys have shared your story. If they know what they know now, they will not have children, they will not even get married, they will not waste of time. Yes, I am married. I come here, I tell you guys that I'm married, and I've been married for 10 years. But if I can go back in time, I won't do marriage, because I'm just like, what was the reason? Because the whole idea, the whole delusion that was being sold to us women about marriage is totally it's a lie. So it now takes you to not know yourself, especially if you get into the marriage for your own reasons and all that, and then knowing yourself and knowing what you want from life, for you to either be in that marriage or not. But you see, those ideas that were sold to us and say that is what marriage is, it's a lie. And a lot of single women has been shamed for being single. A lot of single women have been shamed for choosing themselves and call them selfish, call them all sorts of names, call them old wagon, according to my society, old school and all those things, because those women choose themselves. society and men cannot fathom that a woman can be happy outside of them. And they're talking about, oh, childbearing, pregnancy, and all that. A lot of these men, even though they say this word and they throw this word around, they don't even know what childbearing does to a woman and how struggling and how life-threatening it is for a woman to carry another human being for 9 months, birth that human being, take care of this human being, and the only thing most of these men do is just to be a sperm donor, and they are happy with it. And that's why some of them can come into the internet and talk about how a woman's purpose is to have kids. So what's your own purpose? And a lot of men can really fathom how we can have more greater purpose than other things than just having a child, having a family, playing wife at home. I've had somebody ask me this thing before, telling me that, so what's your purpose? And I told them, my purpose is for the women in my society, in my culture, the women around the world, to get what's happening, to know men for what they are and know exactly why they want to be with a man. Because the illusion and the delusion that's sold to us as women is something else. Apparently, the person that asked me that question was my brother-in-law. And I told him, yeah, it's all a lie. Marriage is all a lie. It's all a lie. It's all a lie. And even having children, rethink it. And I would say a couple of years ago, my ideology was not this. Even though I was already building the ideology bit by bit because I was asking questions, and deep down there were some things I was struggling with, even though my society frowned at that. And those are things that we cannot talk about, like not having children, being live a single life, being genuinely happy as a woman. My society can fathom that. And I was struggling internally with it. And now that I'm living my authentic self, living my best life, living my true self and being true to myself, a lot of people can't even fathom it. A lot of men can't even fathom it. Because they know they need women, they feel like we need them. And I feel like the 4B movement has also played a huge role into this. Seeing how the 4B movement is moving and a lot of women are speaking about this, I feel like it scares a lot of them. Because a lot of women are finding that their lives are more hectic, more stressful being with a man than being by yourself, loving yourself, healing your trauma, and just taking care of yourself. So yeah, I really appreciate a lot of these men really understanding this. And like I said, not all men, but some of them. Anyway, guys, please go down in the comment section and share your thoughts. Love to know what you think about this conversation down in the comment section. But please keep it respectful as always. Share this video with somebody that you want to be part of the conversation, because that's what we do here. We have banging conversation. So go ahead and share this video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, smash the like button, because this helps YouTube to push out my content for more people to see, and that will be you supporting this channel and this girl. With that all said, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and go check out the part 1. I'll leave it down in the description box. Okay, so just click on it so you go check out the part 1. Anyway, with that all said, guys, I will see you guys in my next video. Deuces.